If you're watching this video, probably you are thinking you want to live alone, or you just want to know how it really feels to live alone. Well, probably I would be the best person to talk about it because I have been living alone for 5 to 6 years now. It has been, oh boy, it really has been a journey. It has been a crazy journey. I have lived alone in a studio apartment. I have lived alone with sublet, like with families, random families, and I have lived with lots of roommates. And talk about roommates, some people even tried to, one of my roommates tried to steal my money. That's different issue. That's totally different issue. But yes, of course, living alone, there are a lot of advantages and also disadvantages. But today I'm going to talk about 5 disadvantages that I have faced in my entire living alone life. Yeah, I can talk about disadvantages like 20, 30, 50 points. There are a lot of disadvantages while living alone. Today let's talk about 5. For number 1, it really gets so lonely. I can't describe it. I can't really describe it properly how it gets lonely. Suppose you are all alone, you don't have anyone in the entire flat. So if you want to talk with someone, you have to either call someone or you have to call someone to come to your home. And I am literally all alone in Dhaka. I don't have any that sort of relative, or I don't even have that much friends, to be very honest. I have a few friends, 2, 3 friends, but all of them are married and they are totally busy with their own life, which I understand, of course, because you are married, so obviously you have your own life. But I just feel like living alone is it has never been so easy, especially the lonely part. You just can't call someone constantly like, okay, I'm feeling alone, let's talk. Sometimes you would really crave of human interaction. You would like to talk with someone, you would like to spend time with someone. But when you are alone living in your apartment, you wouldn't have anyone to talk about, which you wouldn't feel when you were living with roommates or flatmates or someone, because at that time you can talk with anyone, right? Even though they are, suppose you were not bonding with each other properly, but still you would be able to talk to them, which is really good. And when you live in the same room with your roommate, there are a good bonding which just creates somehow, but it's not possible when you are alone. Number 2, you really can be so unsocial. It's kind of similar to the first point. Like when you are alone, you don't go out that much, because suppose you are thinking today you will go for a walk or you would go to the park, but when you were thinking, okay, you have to go all by yourself, you don't have anyone, you will just go in that restaurant and eat alone, or you would just go and watch the movie. You have to do all of the things alone, totally alone. You don't have anyone that would go with you. Or maybe suppose you need someone, if you need something, and you just call your roommate like, can you please buy that thing for me, and she would brought it for you. But when you are alone, you don't have anyone that you can tell. So you are not gonna be very social when you are alone, because slowly your mind would be so unsocial that you would feel less comfortable around people. You wouldn't even, and it's really very addictive. At some point you can feel like, I don't need anyone. You can really get used to with this thing. You would feel like, I don't need anyone, I am comfortable by myself. If someone calls you and wants to meet with you, you would be like, no, rather I'll just stay in my home. It really can make you feel so unsocial, and you can be unsocial. That's the disadvantage of living alone. Number 3, when you are living alone, you have less security. Doesn't matter, okay, you can have guard and CCTV camera and everything in your building, but still I think it's a little less secure, because 7-8 months ago, when I was living in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, I was all alone in that apartment, and I went for shopping, and when I came back, I saw my laptop, my jewelries, my money is gone, because somehow some people broke into my home and got all of this stuff. And our building home guard, he has no idea how it happened, and he has no idea who came. Obviously it's not going to be applicable for every area in Dhaka. Currently I'm living in Dhaka, so it's not going to be applicable for every area. But at the time where I was living, it was kind of safe, but it wasn't safe for me. But if I had a roommate or someone with me, obviously it wouldn't have happened. I really believe that. So living alone can be a little insecure. So that's why right now I have CCTV camera in my room, and whenever I'm going out, I'm checking constantly what is happening in my room, what is happening in my the home. So it can make you feel nervous. But when you have someone in your apartment, you wouldn't feel that much uncomfortable going out. So it can be an issue. Number 4, bills. If you are like me, like who is literally living check by check, like every month I'm getting paid and I'm paying my bills. So when you live alone, you have to pay almost double or sometimes much more than you would pay when you would live with some people. So it can really increase your bills, like everything you have to. When you're cooking for yourself, you have to buy the whole thing for yourself. But when you are sharing the bills, every details, every little bills with someone, it really gets a little more affordable. But when you are just alone and you are paying your electricity bill, you are paying your gas bill, Wi-Fi bill, you are paying the whole bills, and also food and groceries and everything, it really gets double and sometimes much more when you are living alone. Because living alone, oh wow, it's really so costly. And last of all, 5, you can be depressed. I know I don't look depressed, and most of the time I'm not depressed that much, because I have gotten into the pattern of living alone so far that I don't really feel that much uncomfortable with myself, because I kind of started loving myself and I don't hate my own company. But if you are a person who is not used to with living alone, and if you need some friends or family or someone constantly with you, then it can really get so hard, because you're going to be a lot depressed. When before, my sister was living with me for a few weeks, and when she was with me, I was feeling really less depressed, because I had someone to talk with. So I was continuously talking with her. I was sharing my problems with her, and she would give me some suggestion or advice, or not even, it's not even about advice, you know what you have to do. It is more about someone who can support you in mentally, not with money, not with physically, but mentally. It's a very big important thing. But when you are living alone, you don't have anyone to support you. It really can get so depressing, especially some nights I have spent, like I didn't really cry, I don't cry that much, but I felt, well, I mean, am I the only person on earth right now? I'm feeling like, if I look at my window, I'm seeing lots of buildings, and there I can't see any human, and I'm feeling like I'm the only person on earth right now. There are no people anymore, and there are some buildings and trees, and that's all. It's really, sometimes it can get depressing. I hate those moments. But there are nothing you can do, right? I mean, there are lots of advantages when you are living alone, but these advantages are coming with some disadvantages. So you have to either accept it, or you have to stay with someone, and you wouldn't get the advantages you would get when you were living alone, if that does make any sense. But for now, I will choose to live alone, because really there are lots of good reasons to live alone. We will talk about in my next video. Bye bye. I love you guys.